Hey, welcome back in another episode of The Scoop. The off season just kind of keeps on moving. There's more news to be going over. Thank you very much for being here with me today. Sam Napoli with you. It is a Century Baseball podcast. You can check out Century Baseball on YouTube or really anywhere, but YouTube is where the content comes out every Tuesday and Thursday. There's a new upload, so make sure you guys go with that. We just hit 3,000 subscribers over there. Make sure you guys go over and subscribe. Again, thank you very much for being here today with me. Pretty quick little bite-sized episodes where we just go over the news, give some analysis on it. And there was one really big move that happened a couple days ago. But overall, there's been just, I would say, a lot of nice supplemental moves that are going to turn into kind of prove-it deals. That's kind of like a theme that happened this week. But, yeah, let's go ahead and let's dive right into it here on The Scoop. But before that, I'm just going to remind you guys, make sure that you use code Century17 on SeatGeek. Grab yourself $20 off your first purchase of $50 or more. SeatGeek. You can get tickets to really anything. Baseball is coming. We're about 85 days away from opening day, so you can buy tickets to that, $20 off. Use code Century17. Anything that you want. I think they even have concerts on SeatGeek, so anything that you're into, you can go ahead, SeatGeek. Anything that's got a ticket, make sure you guys are doing that. But welcome back in. We're on Roster Resource on Fangraphs. That's how I've been getting the news recently. I don't know what we covered last week because there was that time where there were a ton of moves that just kind of happened all at once on Monday morning. I think that the first thing that we didn't cover was Sean Manaea back to the Mets. As a 3 for $75 deal. No opt-outs or anything like that. I think he wanted to be a Met. I think the Mets needed him as kind of maybe their ace even, especially because they didn't get Burns. I don't really know how in on Burns they were, but Manaea seemed like he was their guy, and he was kind of their reclamation project anyway, and he worked out for them. He was really nice. Really, really nice piece for them. So glad for the Mets that they got him back because I think it's a great fit there, and he wanted to be there for the Mets in that regard. Other than that, Walker Buehler signed the 1-year prove-it deal that day. He's got a lot more service time than I thought he does, over 6 years. But, yeah, Buehler, the 1-year, $21 million prove-it deal, Dodgers didn't offer him the qualifying offer, which is exactly the same amount of money, and he took a deal that was the same contract as a qualifying offer in Boston. Maybe he wanted a change of scenery, so it might not have worked out exactly that way, but because we don't really know what the Dodgers offered him, if anything. Not that they really have a spot in the rotation for him, but he closed out the World Series for him. I don't know how much it would have made sense for the Dodgers to try to bring him back. For Boston, this move is fantastic. It's a righty, a guy who's trying to prove it to himself. He doesn't have to be your ace, because you've got some real deal starters. Like, that rotation looks really nice right there. Like a pretty nice 6 even. Sandoval is going to come back middle of the year. He's coming off of TJ. So we'll see how that works out for them. But Crochet is there. Bayo is there. Tanner Houck. Buehler. I mean, a real rotation. And they don't even have to try to bring back Pivetta either, who was kind of just been mediocre for them. So real upgrades in that regard. And then if he's pitching well, maybe they want to try to extend him in the middle of the year. Whether or not Walker Buehler wants that, I'd assume he's going to try to hit the open market once again. But, well, that's all stuff that's yet to be seen. So that's all for that day. Nothing really happens on the 24th. We skip all the way to the 27th with the Christmas break. Merry Christmas, by the way. Happy New Year. New Year's just a couple of days away. We see 2 pretty big moves that happen. Lower end as far as years and term length, but big for their impact. Teoscar goes back to the Dodgers, who we were just speaking about. I guess it was kind of going to happen the whole time. A guy like that who helps you win the World Series so much, they don't really leave that often. He gets real money. Like, it's almost $70 million, 3 years. He earned it. I mean, he had an incredible year, over 30 home runs, 800 OPS. How much value does he provide in the outfield? Not much, but they're keeping Mookie in shortstop, so he'll probably get a lot of run in right. He's got a nice arm on him. He's only 32, so it's not like it's not like he's a super aged player yet. He's still got power. I think what stinks the most about it is like the Blue Jays weren't really able to get anything in on him. I really thought that was going to happen for quite a bit, was that the Blue Jays were going to end up grabbing him back, which would have been nice because that's kind of what they need right now. But they dealt him away in the first place for really nothing. I mean, who do they bring in? Eric Swanson, right? Like that just really didn't work for them at all. The 1-for-1 trade. So, yeah. But Teoscar's a really nice bring back for the Dodgers. It was kind of going to happen the whole entire time to me. So it all makes sense in that regard. And then later that day, Gleyber Torres, he goes to the Tigers. And you think about what their middle infield is right now. Gleyber, Javi. It's just a weird mix, you know what I mean? Two pretty well-hated players in some regard, you know what I mean? Both Cubs at one point in their career. Weird the Yankees didn't try to bring Gleyber back, really. Like, that deal was so kind of low end. What's it, 1 for 13, I want to say? It's so low end that it probably would have been valuable or worth it for the Yankees to try to bring him back on a 1 for 14 deal. You know what I mean? Because they've still got a vacancy at second base, and right now they're probably going to be playing Oswaldo Cabrera every day, which is just not what you want. So I think that they're still missing. I think what's more likely to happen for the Yankees is that they go ahead and grab a third baseman and move Jazz Chisholm back to second, where he's probably better. And he's a good outfielder too, so really whatever they need him to play. And he's a team player. He showed that last year. He said he'll play wherever. So that works out for them. For the Tigers, it's a very impactful move in what their roster construction looks like, because they have all of a sudden made it pretty clear Spencer Torkelson is very expendable and probably not going to get much more of a chance. He showed a lot of life at the end of last year, which is what makes this so strange. If he's ever had a period where he showed more life, it was the end of last year. I mean, he had the 30-homer season, but in recency, there's never really been a time where he showed more promise than that last stretch where he helped them make the playoffs. So they say Gleyber goes to second. They're moving Colt Keith, really nice athlete. He's locked up for quite a bit now, 6 more years, I think, on that extension they signed him to on the cheap. He moves to first base, where they're going to play him. So unless they're going to have Torkelson DH pretty much every day, because Colt Keith's an everyday player, then Torkelson's time in Detroit's probably done. And he probably gets traded for a starter or something like that. And I think that there's definitely going to be a team that's going to take a chance on him, because that's a former first overall pick. You know what I mean? But what does Gleyber do? I think he's probably just going to be a league average hitter. I don't know how much he really provides to you at second base, but his numbers offensively last year were not great either. So, yeah, it's a weird move for the Tigers. Gleyber just didn't really add up to me at all. But the big one that happened was Corbin Burns the next day. This was so out of nowhere. Corbin Burns to Arizona. It's scary. It's a scary thought for a Phillies fan like myself. Arizona grabs another ace. They've got 2 of them now. Because Gallen is an ace. Gallen's an ace. Corbin Burns is a top 5 pitcher in ball. And he got paid like that. 6 years, $35 a year is real money. That is Garrett Cole money. There's some concerns with Corbin Burns' game. His K rate has gone down pretty drastically every year for the last 5 years or so, but he's still efficient. He's still getting ground balls. Corbin Burns is still really good. What does it do for the dude? I keep saying the Cardinals. For the Diamondbacks, I think they're gonna trade a starter, probably, right? Like, because you're probably not extending Gallen at this point with how much money's on the books, but you're looking at a rotation now that's Corbin Burns, Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, Eduardo Rodriguez, who they brought in last year, people forget, and then Montgomery, or Brandon Pfaadt, who's shown a lot of promise at times in his career, especially in 2023. So, yeah, weird. They're probably going to trade a starter. It's probably coming. They've got 6. Who's the one they trade? It might be Gallen. It's weird to think about, but it might be Gallen, and they might need to try to bring in a shortstop or something like that. Something along those lines probably coming for them, though. Just a couple, like the Nationals make 2 moves. I'll group them together. Apparently, they brought back Trevor Williams, who like he did have a pretty nice run with Washington last year. Maybe 2 years ago. I'm trying to think of when that was. He had 1 year where he was really, really good for them. But yeah, Trevor Williams goes back to Washington for 2 years. How about that? And then they bring back Josh Bell on a 1 year for $6 million after bringing in Nathaniel Lowe. So you're probably going to see Josh Bell as an everyday DH for the Washington Nationals. How about that? Yeah, not much to speak on there. It's weird. I don't know why Josh Bell went back there, but you know what? It's a player. He's still got value. He's been playing at a pretty nice level for a while now, so you got that. Then a weird, fun little flip. Vidal Brujan for Matt Mervis. Honestly, I think the Marlins might have fleeced the Cubs because Matt Mervis is a little more promising than Brujan. Like, Brujan was, at one point, a really nice prospect for the Rays. Rays don't like him. They trade him, I think, to... He either got DFA'd or he got traded. Miami picks him up. They flip him for Mervis. Mervis is the first baseman. They're both, at one point in their career, were pretty nice prospects, so interested to see what happens with that. But that's all the news that we really have for today. As I said, pretty short episode. But thank you very much for being here on The Scoop again today. Make sure you go check out the new uploads on the Century Baseball YouTube channel. Kind of been popping a little bit recently, so a lot of discussion going on as well. Thank you very much for being here. Have a fantastic day. Happy New Year, and I'll see you guys next Monday. Peace out.